Hey everybody, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk some My Hero Academia. And pretty much asking the question, like, what arc are we going to be going into next? Well, we're kind of wrapping up the current arc, the Shizaki arc, the internship arc, whatever you want to call it. We're wrapping it up pretty much, and now it's just, I guess, one of the most exciting times because the door of potentials is open here. So yeah, for this video, let's sit down and I'm pretty much just going to tell you my thoughts on what we might be heading into. Of course, this topic is probably like one of the hardest ones to predict. Like you're pretty much predicting what the author wants to do next for his story. And unless this is a super formulaic story, well, the odds that I'll get anything right, they're pretty small, they're pretty slim. But if you guys have any thoughts about what you want to see coming up in My Hero Academia, what arc you're personally hoping for, let me know down below. So let's start this off very simply. Let's just put out on the table all the active storylines, the plot points that we know have to be covered at some point, and let's go from there. And in that front, I can really only think of a few things that we could really springboard from this point. And that is the Todoroki and Bakugo little plot line where they have to go and get their license. However, there's some information that puts a time frame on when that actually is going to happen. And then we have also the background story detail of the trader. Maybe we could be going into an arc that will focus on the trader. However, given a pattern that My Hero Academia might be establishing, talking about the trader might not, that plot point might not be popping up very soon. Another thing that we could possibly be springboarding off into is some type of fallout for this current arc. We ended the previous chapter with the loss of a reasonably cool character, and if we spend a few chapters kind of just seeing, I guess, how everyone's dealing with it, there's one character who that death should affect to an insane degree. Then there's All Might's involvement and all the investment that he has in all that. So saying that we could be going into a bit of a fallout type thing, very reasonable. Saying that we're going to continue in the current internship arc and then we're just shifting focus over to the Villain Alliance would be reasonable. But the Villain Alliance, they kind of have a pattern to how they operate, so I don't think heading into or continuing this arc, but just shifting focus over to them, I'm not sure if that would happen. Right now, the past is against that. So on that note, let's actually just look at what My Hero Academia has done before when it has come to the past arcs. There is a bit of a pattern. So what we're going to do for this part of the video, just very quickly, we'll go over the arcs that have already passed and see, you know, the pattern that we can pull out from here. And we're just going to start recording at USJ because that's where the villains got involved. Everything before that was pretty much the introductory arcs. And then USJ, the Unforeseen Simulation Joint, that's where we first got to see Shigaraki and the Villain Alliance. So that was a villainous event, and then after that arc, we went into the UA Sports Festival, which was a school event, or an event that focused on the characters in the classroom. After that, we headed into the Stain arc, another villainous event. From that point, we went into the final exams, which was a class event. From there, we went into the school trip, which turned into a villainous event again. And the school trip is where we had a bit of a disruption in the pattern. We went into a follow-up villainous event in the raid arc. You know, the one where Bakugo's in a pretty bad situation. Special notes about the raid arc, but we're going to make that later. After that, we went into the hero license event, which was largely villain-free, although we had Toga's involvement. But Toga's involvement only became apparent at the end. It's not a tried and true villainous event. It still focuses a lot on the students. But then we go into the one that we were in right now, the internship, which was a hardcore villainous event. So I would say there's a bit of a pattern here, right? I see a bit of a zigzag, and then I see something interesting happening with the raid event. So the thing with the raid is that it was also the mark that ended an era. It was the event that ended the reign of the symbol of peace. And then after that, we pretty much reset the patterns and we go back to the students and then into a villainous event. Because of that, I'm starting to wonder if the author has sort of made a plan here, because the raid kind of coincides with the ending of the semester for UA. The first semester ends and then they go off to the school trip, and it pretty much culminates their summer vacation with this giant event. Because of that, I'm starting to think if the author wants to make giant events kind of line up with the students' school calendar. And this goes back to the Todoroki and Bakugo point. We have a firm date on when that event's going to happen, when Todoroki and Bakugo are going to go in for the provisional license exam. We were told that they were going to have a chance to retake this in March. Now, I didn't think that we had such a firm time frame, but then after doing a little bit of research, I found out that in Japan, the first semester goes from April to September, with the summer break occurring in July to August, roughly. And then the second semester starts in October and ends in March. That's what I got from a website. So if I'm wrong, correct me down below, but that's what I got from what seemed to be a reputable website. Anywho, they told us that. So that means that the Todoroki Bakugo event isn't going to happen till the end of the semester. And this lines up with when the original provisional license exam happened. It happened in the aftermath of the All Might event. And then right after that, we went into the second semester opening. So what that ultimately means to me is that potentially there would be a relatively big event to coincide with the ending of the second semester of the UA students. Imagining what that event could be, it's kind of a dubious affair, but with the traitor plot up in the air and now Todoroki and Bakugo dated for when that event's gonna happen, you know, all I could really think of is that the traitor plot's probably gonna unfold near the end of the second semester, and then it's gonna spiral into an event that is comparable to the raid on the villain alliance, and it will be capped off with Todoroki and Bakugo getting their provisional licenses. The only thing that's really certain here is that Todoroki and Bakugo, they're not happening. So for the next arc in My Hero Academia, we've only eliminated the active storylines that we have now. Going into a follow-up event with the villain alliance, the pattern that we have so far doesn't say it, but the pattern that we have really just kind of biases me towards thinking that we're going to have a arc that focuses on the classroom as a whole, and hopefully it'll be one that'll be away from the villain's watchful eye. It'll be really interesting to see. But guys, that's pretty much it. I've presented you with some information. This is more of a talking point video. I want to hear what you are hoping for. What do you want to see in My Hero Academia? Who do you hope will get attention in the arc that comes after whatever Shizaki's doing? Like, we're gonna have to go back to the classroom eventually. That's where the most popular characters are. We know that Bakugo is popular. We know that Todoroki's popular. We know that Jiro is coming up in her popularity. We're gonna have to see these characters again. So we have a pretty good odd for seeing the characters in the classroom environment again. So guys, let me know what you thought down below. Let me know your bets. And whoever wins, bragging rights, alright? And what's bragging rights without a place to share your bragging rights? We have a Discord server for the channel. Feel free to join. Bunch of okay people on there. But if you like anime and manga and you like mild discussion, yeah, that's definitely a place for you. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Till next time, I hope you have an absolutely great day.